Welcome back to Kingdom Cast. This is your host, Super Champ Chuck. We back at it with another episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share all your social media platforms. It is on the week 2 as our Chiefs will take on Jacksonville in a divisional round rematch, this time in Duval County. As everyone was probably watching the Thursday night game, the little slop fest going on. And for the record, man, I just want to give out this little tip here. For Thursday night games, just take the under. You'll be profitable for the season. Well, anyway, let's go ahead and introduce everybody here. My guy country's on the top right. My homegirl Kylie is back. She's on the bottom of the screen.
She's back.
And
Hi.
here like Chris Collinsworth here to say. So look out for that. But anyway,
I definitely benched Kirk Cousins. I did not. I wasn't gonna take the chance. I benched him.
I feel that it's prime time Kirk. Understandable.
I got 2 fantasy leagues. I'm having fun in our fantasy league. I'm having fun. That's fun. Jeff Allen fantasy league. I'm trying to win because I want the cookie. I just want the cookie for a year. So I'm trying to win. Is that
what you win?
So I'm not. Yes.
Yeah, I'm in that league too. By the way.
No one invited me to the cookie league.
Man,
that's a prize right there.
I think I might have been the last person that got in. I think I got in on the what do they call it? The hair of my chinny chin chin. I think.
Yeah.
Barely got in, but I just want to win the cookies. I'm 1-0.
Yeah,
better split those cookies.
But in our league, though, country, you barely squeaked by me. You barely got me. I give you that one. Barely got me.
He was talking so much Super Champ Chuck. Turned into Bad Luck Chuck.
Yeah, I know, right?
You better change that name. You better change that name back.
It is a new season. I really should. You know what I'm
saying? Yeah, that Charles curse is still in effect with guests.
Yeah, you were at the game too last weekend, weren't you?
Yeah, double curse. Double curse. Why would he? Shout out to Corey Woods. Shout out to Corey Woods. He was an amazing guest, and we had an amazing time with him. And we still that invitation to Detroit is still on the table. I hope.
Yep.
So,
NFL draft
for the draft. Yeah, but yeah, Chuck is like 0-4 with guests.
It's crazy.
Speaking of lateness,
the Black Chris Collinsworth.
Here's a guy.
Always on time, man. Don't worry about it. How's everybody doing?
I'm good, Mac. What's good with you, brother?
What's up,
hey, man?
Mr. Wakefield.
Man, yes, D-Mac and I are playing each other this week.
Actually. Is it tension? Nice. Is it tension amongst the fans?
Yes, it is, actually. I take it very seriously.
Oh, D-Mac.
Look, I can't go over 2.
Let me just take a look. Yeah, well.
I can't go over 2 right now, all right? So we gonna make some shake.
I hate to tell you, but your chances don't look good.
Hey, probably. Look, this is I told myself I was not taking Cooper Kupp across any league. And then, of course, in the Kingdom Cast League, I decided to take Cooper Kupp and Matt Stafford as my quarterback and wide receiver. So, you can't. What can you do? What can you do? It's fantasy.
Did you get Van Jefferson too?
Oh yeah, so did. I thought that. I was like, all right, I guess Van Jefferson's the guy. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I actually made a trade. I traded Van Jefferson and Stafford for Travis Etienne and CJ Stroud. So we'll see what ends up happening after that.
And if Chris jumps in the chat today, I'm going to tell him how bad that trade was. That was a terrible trade. It shouldn't have been approved. It shouldn't have been ratified by the league. That was a completely horrendous trade.
Ratified by the league is crazy.
Yeah, I had questions about that one, and I was like, you know what? I don't know.
This trade, this is terrible.
You're gonna see
what I can't believe.
Because I was like, Chris need a quarterback.
But, yeah, Chris need Jesus.
The good news is, I was gonna say the good news is at least Devontae Smith, TJ Hawkinson, both of them at least playing well tonight. So that's a good sign for me, at least to start out. So.
Oh, speaking of devil, hi Chris. In that terrible trade you made.
Shout out to Area Chief Podcast.
Right on time. Shout out Area Chief Podcast, man.
Yeah.
Your ears were burning.
Our cousins. Speaking of 0-2, we lost last week.
What a segue.
man.
Yeah. No, I didn't really get the comment last week. I was at work, unfortunately. My thoughts on the game, I think a lot of things changed when Travis Kelce popped up hurt at the last minute. And I think the whole game plan was thrown out. And I think they really had Pat, can you make things happen, please? Game plan. And to Pat's credit, Pat's pretty fucking good. Excuse my language. He made that a game. It shouldn't have been a game. Toney definitely looked rusty. I think, and we'll talk about the press conferences later. I think the wide receivers. This is a question I wanted to pose, and I wish I was on the show last week, but we got you intelligent people here. Are there too many wide receivers? Were there too many wide receivers last week to fit into the game plan to give ample? Because Rashee Rice does great, and then I don't know where he went. Sky Moore ran every route in the tree, and he never even got targeted, basically. Justin Ross had a little 6-yarder, 8-yarder, something like that, and then he was gone. And then MVS, and Pat, you are so petty with these MVS disappearing behind the safety to catch the ball and then raise up like, I caught it. You know what I'm saying? Like that throw, oh my God, it was amazing. But after that, MVS disappeared. So was it too many options out there? Should we have just streamlined it? And Justin Watson had an incredible game and disappeared for a little bit. So was it too many wide receivers on the roster? I'm throwing that out to anybody who wants to answer.
Not on the roster.
Oh, go ahead, D-Mac.
I was going to say,
active.
Yeah. I don't even think active, because I think active is okay if you have 7 wide receivers active. I agree. The too many snaps spread out. From what I saw, I'm good on Richie James' wide receiver snaps right now. He looked lost. For him coming into this offense, probably should know a little bit more. I didn't love what I saw from him. So I'm good on Richie James snaps. Don't need to have it. Justin Watson, MVS, 2 reliable guys. Those guys should continue to get the snaps that they got. Sky Moore, Kadarius Toney, I was fine with the snaps that they got. They used Kadarius Toney sparingly, but when they did, they tried to get the ball to him, and we know obviously the result was not good. But I expect them to bounce back. But they used him sparingly within the snaps as they should have, and try to get impact snaps out of him when they did. Sky Moore stepped into a bigger role. I thought that was fine. I would like to see Justin Ross used better situationally in the red zone. And Rashee Rice, I think, can continue to earn more snaps as this goes along. But as far as this 1 week, too many snaps spread across because guys didn't get into rhythm. Guys didn't feel, just moving together. And that if you're going to try and rotate these guys in and out, I think Seth Kaiser, said it best. It felt like a preseason game in the ways that they were trying to rotate these guys in and out. There's too many of them.
Before we go to Kylie, can we do a callback? How big was Ross's package this week?
It wasn't big. Wasn't big enough. Wasn't big
no
enough.
Disrespect, Kylie. I'm sorry. I'm done. Go ahead.
Oh, man.
Please answer the question and move along.
No, I mean, personally, I feel like I just wish that, what D-Mac was saying, that they would have, rode the hot hand. And what MVS had 2 targets for 2 catches, 48 yards. And then it was we didn't see him again. Justin Watson had a pretty good game. We saw, like you were saying, Rashee Rice was doing some big things. Personally with Sky, I'm going to need to see a little bit more from him this next game, because I felt like he wasn't getting any separation, and that was why he wasn't getting targeted. And that's kind of a problem. Pat's running around trying to find someone, no one's getting open. I think there was just chemistry issues with them in general. And then, of course, with Toney, I'm all about what Andy Reid in his theory of, if a guy drops a pass, if he's down on himself, let's go right back to him. I'm all for that. But I think there needs to be a 1, 2, 3 strike policy on that per game. After 1 or 2, the second time he drops it, you just be like, hey, bud, it might not be your game today. Because that third one ended up being a pick 6, if I'm not correct, or if I'm not mistaken. Right? The third one.
They were all crucial.
I mean, yeah, they were. But so I think he played that a little bit too loosely in that game where he was just like, no, again. It's like, this just might not be his day. And he even led on to that in the presser. He was like, I don't think I put him in the best situations to be successful. I think I need to look in the mirror myself. So I was happy to see or to hear Andy say that. I was happy to hear Tony get up and kind of take ownership. But I don't feel like there were too many. I don't think going forward there'll be too many. I think it's just about how they game plan for them.
Yeah. When you look at the stats and everything, you see that there was 11 different players that caught the football, at least made one catch and everything. And
Sheesh.
like you mentioned, country, like it's 48 hours. I'm sure the game plan originally was to feed Kelce as the main option, and 48 hours, you're scrambling to try to come up with something else. You know what I'm saying? So, like how you mentioned, I think you or D-Mac, you guys mentioned, like, it was kind of like how it ended up being like a preseason game to that extent, just trying to figure things out, like who to trust as the game went along. And in the end, they was trying to trust Kadarius. He just didn't make plays. They was trying to trust Sky a little bit more in the second half. It just didn't make plays. It's as simple as that. Like we mentioned it last week. If 2 or 3 of those drops were actually catches,
give me one. Give me
one.
Give me
that third downer we were in field goal range.
Give me Sky Moore on
425.
Give me Kadarius Toney on the pick 6. Give me Kadarius Toney on the third and whatever. When we could have converted and gotten into field goal range. And either one of those 3 doesn't matter. You get one of them, you win the game. So it's unfortunate. And I agree with you. There was also the secondary part of it, and I thought this also kind of affected the wide receiver play. I didn't necessarily love the way in which they tried to adapt that game plan without Kelce, and obviously difficult circumstances having to take him out. I felt like they didn't use the power runs that they should have to try and get after the Detroit Lions defense. I feel like, and we only saw one screen pass. I didn't love the ways in which they used Sky Moore. They didn't try and, get him on kind of short routes to try to use his ability. And some of that is also a credit to the Lions in which they adjusted to more of zone concepts rather than man concepts. But I didn't think that the play calling necessarily did them any favors outside of the situational play calling, which I'm sure we'll get into. But yeah, so that was my general feeling on it. Just a little bit of the wide receivers letting you down, a little bit of Patrick Mahomes being uncomfortable, and a little bit of the game plan calling not living up to the standard you would like to see.
But how does it look? There's 2 things I want to see. I would like to see. The first one we're probably not going to see. It would be nice. I don't know if it would be nice, but it would be cool if we could see them prepare 10 days with these 7 wide receivers. Kelce's not going to play. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, Kelce's out, but they get a full entire week of game plan, practice, all that. We're probably not going to see that because the way Travis Kelce was jumping around at practice, he's not missing this game. The second part of that,
I hope we don't see it.
Yeah, I hope we don't see that. I'm definitely. But the second part of that is, how does that look with Travis Kelce? Because even the routes that Sky was running, does that look different when Travis Kelce is getting that attention? You feel me? Or is he more open now? Because it looks like Tony's going to be open regardless.
Right.
Rashee Rice he's going to be cool. How much is it affecting Sky? Because he was running the routes, and he actually could have. I don't know what Pat deal with was him. He had him open. He passed it up, and he did talk about this in the press conference, so he did address it. So he saw it just like we did, but he had Sky open across. He hesitated, then tried to come back for him. It was too tall. You know what I'm saying? So I wonder those 2 things. I wonder how it looks if they had 10 days of straight practice. Pat and these 7 wide receivers, we got to make it work. And how does it look with Travis out there? I guess we'll see the second one first because.
Hopefully we'll get
breaking news. I think Travis is playing.
Travis looks like he's going to play.
He's playing.
Travis looks like he's good to go, and it's good. Everything falls into place when Travis is there, and specifically when you're talking about, because the Lions toggled to more zone rather than playing man heavy coverages. everything that Sky is stepping into as far as Juju's role last year was about zone coverages working off of Travis Kelce's attention and gravity that he pulls guys to. And so not having that piece in there really significantly affects what that Juju role ends up looking
It kind
like.
of made him useless almost.
I think it did it at times as well. And again, everything falling into place is not just from a conceptual standpoint. It's from Patrick Mahomes' comfortability standpoint. He knows teams are going to key on Travis Kelce, and he uses that to its advantages to get to the wide receivers off of that. So, yeah. Thank God Travis Kelce looks like he's back. There wasn't structural damage, and it looks like he's ready to roll.
Yeah, but he saw sleep on his left leg or his left knee or whatever. But
Yeah,
looks good, though. He looks spry and everything.
Which is better than a Stone Cold Steve Austin brace on his knee.
That's what Chris Jones has on his knee.
Right. Well, he's been wearing that for a while.
I know he's been wearing that forever. I never inquired as to why he does that, but yeah,
I don't know.
Preventative.
Yeah. But
If
shout
it
out
works.
to B Shaq for making that degeneration
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, that was amazing. It was amazing. I had to retweet it on the main page. Kylie, you missed the post game too. Did you have any positive signs as far as offensively? I think we all agree that the defense played good, but on the offense, did you have anything that you liked?
18's retired, isn't it? That's a good point. 18's retired, so I don't know what he's going to pick.
I would say the one positive, and what kind of puzzled me throughout the game was, if you remember right before the half, they took a timeout and came out, and that's when there was like 3 plays right in a row. And it was MVS, that play to MVS, a play to Watson, and then that I think it was Rashee Rice who scored the touchdown there.
Yep.
Yeah. And I was like, what? That's the offense. It was very confusing because then, going into the half, I thought, okay, this is really positive. We've scored points here. I think we got the ball coming out of the half. And then we just fell apart. So,
I was really surprised that we didn't come out of half and put up points. It was really surprising to me. And I don't know. Again, I think that there was a little bit of an overcomplication when they tried to cram too much and try and adjust the game plan. The fact that you had those plays in succession out of tempo, I think that that's something that they could have got to. Like there were things and ways in which you could have made this better and easier on these guys, simplifying these things. And I don't think they took good advantage of it. Tempo being one of them, certainly. And I mentioned the screens and things out there. Yeah.
Right before that, Rashee Rice touchdown. Actually, they ran they was running like a
they had the flip reverse play, didn't they? The flip reverse McKinnon handed it to Mahomes, who flipped it to Toney, and
you saw like on the all 22. I don't know if Blake Bell was supposed to go outside or was he supposed to go inside and take that linebacker inside.
He needed to fill that gap because it doesn't make sense because they had McKinnon running outside as well to pick up somebody if they had to. So Blake Bell kind of has to turn that up and because it's 4 yards, so you need 4 yards at that point. So.
Yeah, somebody got confused between Toney and Bell, and I'm probably gonna say Blake Bell might have got confused on which assignment to take on that one. Otherwise, that would have been a touchdown.
Yeah. He would have been able to get in there if he just cleans up Alex. Pat did get answer. You could tell that he was a little bit uncomfortable with what he was seeing, which he has his safety blanket and Travis Kelce not being there. You can understand what might have happened there. But he took it on the chin. He said it was on him. He didn't play up to his standards, which he did. And that's exactly what you expect to hear from Mahomes.
Kylie, did you have anything else?
I've got positives about the defense.
Let's go. Let's go to defense because I got some too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I felt
I'm
like
only doing this because me and Kylie missed the post game. That's why.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So stuff to say.
Yeah.
No, I thought that I was really impressed with the defense. Specifically with the pressure that they were able to bring without Chris Jones. I thought Karlaftis had a really good game. I thought Dana played really well. FAU was even getting in there. I was really impressed by them. I was impressed by McDuffie. I felt like McDuffie played really well. Snead played every snap. I think he was out there the whole game, which for someone who was not really participating in practice due to the swelling in his knee, I thought that was really impressive. I'm excited to see him back full strength now that he's got a few hits under his belt now. But yeah, overall, I was really impressed. I think, and we won't get too far into it because I know we're going to talk about this next game, but I'm excited to see how this defense gels now that Chris Jones is back. I think it's going like I thought it was really promising to see how well they did without him. And once he's able to draw a little bit of that double coverage and double teams, like I think we're going to see a little bit more out of the line. So,
facts. Chris,
speaking of the big fella, let's go on transition.
Yeah, Neil Farrell comes. He gets to play this week too, so it'll be interesting. Who did most of the snaps at DT? Was it Noddy, the Kingdom Cast?
Listen, hold on. He did well. He had some. He did okay.
I was pleasantly surprised by Derek Noddy's snaps. I was not expecting him to look actually competent. I was pleasantly surprised. But yeah, Noddy had 72, Mac Dickerson had 67, and we saw Tershawn Wharton. Whoa, I was looking at the wrong one. That's something else. Sorry. Matt Dickerson had 41, Derek Noddy had 39, Tershawn Wharton had 27. So yeah, I mean Tershawn Wharton with 27, that was good to see. That was a little bit more than I thought he was going to be able to give us coming off the knee. So obviously he feels pretty healthy. But it'll be interesting to see how that rotation change. Obviously, you expect a limited amount with Chris Jones expected to play. So we'll end up seeing. But I agree with you guys. Defensive line did very well. Young edge rushers, George and Felix, looked very, very good. Mike Dana, I think, is going to be able to give you a little bit of an inside pass rush and early down edge versatility here, which is good to see. As far as long as we know that Charles Omenihu is going to be suspended here for the next few games. So defensive line, positives.
Did you during the game, did you say, I miss Chris Jones?
Not as much as I said I miss Travis Kelce.
It wasn't even close.
Because here's the thing.
We love you, Chris, but you are no Travis Kelce.
No, and I think like the difference wasn't. I think we win that game with Travis Kelce. It's not like we would have won that game if we had Chris Jones. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like easy, exactly. Like I wasn't. Yeah. I mean, I miss you, Chris. I'm glad he's back. It's gonna be great. But
no doubt. But during the game, it was like, they're doing pretty good without him. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, look, you gave up 2 touchdowns, but I think the only time in which you did miss Chris Jones was the last drive of the game, the second last drive of the game. They lined it up and they ran it right down your throats. And Chris Jones last year was very good against the run, and he was also playing a lot of heavy snaps. And so not having him there in the middle definitely showed up there on that last drive because they just didn't have an answer to try and stop it. So that happens. Right. It is what it is. But I agree with you. It wasn't even close. Travis Kelce was far more missed than Chris Jones was.
Not even close.
Yeah.
But
another thing, and then we can move on to the next week. Or were you gonna say something? Chuck?
Go ahead, Country. You got it.
I'm sorry. But another thing that Kylie touched on. Our defense, that secondary just looks different when Snead is on the field. I don't know if he's the glue or he's the captain or what he does, but when he's on the field, they just seem to play better. You know what I'm saying? Like, did y'all notice a difference? Like, I noticed, like, they just look better when Snead is out there, when he's allowed to roam and do what he does. And Trent McDuffie had a hell of a game. And Manny said,
that's the thing this week.
But I just welcomed him out on the field, and to see him, he went through literally the same thing that Kadarius Toney went through of not practicing for 6 weeks, no game action.
Yep.
But I didn't see a lot of rust out of Snead. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's something that we're gonna monitor. That knee is gonna be something that we always watch. But he looked good out there. You know what I'm saying? So, go ahead, Chuck. I'm sorry I cut you off. What is wrong with Manny and these hats? What's
Manny? I'll say this: that when you get Snead healthy because of what the chest piece he allows you in the slot, and he's a good guy that can cover. When you get Joshua Williams outside. Being his, a long-limbed self and being able to disrupt guys, especially at the line of scrimmage, and obviously Trent McDuffie, who's kind of another chess piece that now Spags feels comfortable moving around, especially on primary assignments, because he can stuff the run effectively, and he's just that good of a cover corner. You could tell the top 3 corners when those guys are out there, they just look really fun to watch, and so definitely I agree with you. Snead, glue guy to keep all two of those guys together. Yes, surprisingly, Puma is still around.
I mean, Puma made
this is the best racing team in Formula One, Manny. Red Bull Racing.
Man, forget Max Verstappen. Anyway, let's go and move on to Chris Jones. Let's go and move to Chris Jones. He's finally in the building. They finally got a deal done. It's a 1-year deal, and we finally got the answer to the incentive type stuff. Okay, so for this year, he has a cap hit of $26.8 million for 2023, and then hits against the cap with $1.35 million against the cap in 2024 through 2027. So his cap hit this season for roughly $28.3 million. So that's essentially how the numbers played out. So for any of the incentives not reached for this season, the cap hit in future years can be refunded after the season. So all of the incentives are considered likely to be earned, but the option bonus is spread out over the next 5 seasons. So that was a little report from Mac Derrick. Shout out to Mac Derrick for that information.
Shout out to Mac Derrick.
Country is like, can I get the black cop? I don't know if y'all remember that Sanford and Son bit they used to do, white cop and black cop, but the Country is like, can I just get the black cop version of whatever is just going on?
Look, man, look. This is a PSA. This is a
oh boy.
These are my thoughts, and my thoughts alone is not a reflection of Kingdom Cast nor its partners or sponsors. Chris, what was that all about? We accomplished.
Oh man!
You know what? We accomplished exactly nothing, Chris.
Yeah, that was
we barely got a raise. We barely made more money. It was a 1-year deal, no New Year's. Chris, I don't know when you can do it, and you got like 17 weeks to get this right. Those 2 guys that you were sitting with at the game, those 2 idiots, get rid of them quickly, nicely. Mm-hmm. They got their money out the little deal. Get rid of them. They're done. It's over. They're not Drew Rosenhaus. I don't know what they tried to do. You won nothing. Like Brett Veach, he screwed you, man. Like, I don't know. You won nothing out of this deal, Chris. I love you to death. And we missed you, and we wanted you back. But you stayed out of training camp. You never went to St. Joe. You missed the first game. You got absolutely nothing out of that contract, bro. Nothing. And you still get tagged next year. And they get to push the money back. Chris, you failed. Your agents failed you mightily. And Brett Veach is not laughing at you. He's not laughing with you. He's laughing at you. Because he won every part of this deal. Which is, I mean, if you're pro team, you're happy. If you're pro Chris, you're happy he's here. If you're pro agent, you're an idiot because they failed at every opportunity to make this a great deal. He set out all those weeks for nothing. He held out for nothing. He got nothing. Nothing. $25 million. You had 27 on the table. You lost. Never mind. I'm sorry.
I'm fascinated to know.
Making me upset even thinking about it right now. It's like you won nothing. What did we do? What did we accomplish in that?
You were absolutely right, dude. This is
I'm fascinated to. Go ahead.
This
is
one of the worst holdouts I have seen in quite some time.
Absolutely.
Like Chris came out on the short end of the stick at the end of the day, man. I was like, what'd you do all this for, bro? And it's like we mentioned on the last episode, I said, look, dog, he need to get new representation because this was just absolute poor execution by the current agency he's with. Kast brothers, they clearly flopped on this from the get-go. I'm all for, I'm with you, T-Bone, all for, getting players paid, they worth and everything, but the advice that he was getting, dog, awful advice. Extremely awful advice. Like, I'm glad he's back. I'm glad he's back in the building. I'm glad he's going to be a part of this run again. But at the end of the day, dog, you missed out on some money, bro. Like,
he got nothing done, bro. Like, it's like
$55 million guaranteed on the table, fully guaranteed for 2024 and 2025. I don't think he's going to be able to get any contract that matches that. I don't think that he's going to be able to make that. I'd be surprised because there's no D tackle that's going to be pushing this market up. Like Christian Wilkins is like really good, but I don't think the Dolphins are going to pay him $25 million a year. There's no other D tackle coming to push this market up. So when they go to the bargaining table next in off season, Veach is going to be like, okay, well, you are a year older now.
Mm-hmm.
I can't push the cap off. Do you just want to do a $26 million year deal and we give you 50 guaranteed and we move on from there? Like they're not going to all of a sudden up the offer. That's not going to happen. So I don't know. There's no win for Chris Jones here, like you said, Country.
He lost in every aspect of the deal. He lost every aspect.
He's got.
Nothing.
If they don't reach a deal, then he's just going to be tagged. He's not going to be able to do anything about it.
Yeah.
Do you think so? In the presser, I think it was yesterday, he didn't really defend his agents, but he said he wasn't going to be looking for any other agents. Do you buy that, or do you think he's just trying to save face?
Oh no!
Do you think we see him with new agents?
He was very diplomatic in that press conference. I'll say that.
Yeah,
he's a professional. He has to be. But this is what happened, and Brett Veach even alluded to it in the statement he made. The Kast brothers were diligent, which is translated to me meant annoying and in the way. I think they took a 1-year deal so he could be like, hey, good job, guys. You got your money. See ya. So I can fire you and get a real agent and we can start over and talk like real agents. Because what did they do? Your biggest client is Byron Pringle, and no disrespect to Pringle, he was a great guy, but they don't know how to handle no big money deals, man. They just proved it. They're not going to get any more agents. They're not going to get any more players after this. What? Are you kidding me? I wouldn't even want the Kast brothers to represent this podcast right now. Like, y'all can't do nothing for us. They might be able to get us like a chino shirt.
Hilarious.
The Sopranos. The Sopranos DVD or something. It's
unfortunate though because
terrible, bro. I'm sorry.
There's second parts of this though because if you had properly gone through this negotiation, Chris Jones's future could be in a much safer place than it is right now. Because I mean, he is one bad injury away from it not being very good. And God forbid that happens because then everybody
because we need him.
Everybody loses at that point. And it's just it's a shame that it had to go the way they ended up doing because I agree with you. It really felt like the agents were pushing for something here that was completely unrealistic and Chris Jones was getting bad advice.
I just had an epiphany and we can leave it after this. They're former Drew Rosenhaus associates, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Drew Rosenhaus represents Tyreek Hill.
Also, yes.
Tyreek Hill was ready to sign with Kansas City. He was going to make some money. I don't know why people believe he wasn't. Drew Rosenhaus also represents Christian Kirk. Boom. Get Jacksonville to overpay for my guy. Tyreek, hold on. Boom. Devontae Adams. Get him Tyreek, go back
he made his
and
money.
tell him he needs some more. The Kast brothers had Byron Pringle. It was nobody to go, and it'd be different if y'all represented Quinnen Williams, and they'd be like, yo, we got him paid. Boom, and set you up to get you paid. None of the guys that were in the class got paid. None of them. Jeffrey Simmons, Quinnen Williams, who was the other guy, D-Mac?
Dexter Lawrence.
None of them got broke off. It was already bad.
Agent Nicole Lynn was the person that negotiated Quinnen Williams' contract.
They should have hired her.
Nicole Lynn is in these negotiations.
Jesus Christ.
This probably would have been done in July. I feel very comfortable with that. I think that they would have gone in here, got it done. They saw what Quentin Williams put the number at, this significant raise on top of it, and that would have been the end of it.
I think they tried to do what Tyreek Hill did, but they didn't have the proper market to do. And everybody that came in was coming in lower than expected, and they still were trying to fight for 30. This was the wrong year to try to pull that move, and they lost dramatically in front of the world. Your agency is done, kaput. Week 2, Jackson.
Basically, they was depending on Chris Jones to say they.
These are my thoughts. This does not represent Kylie or D-Mac or Chuck or Boogie.
But yeah,
just my thoughts.
But essentially, at the end of the day, they flopped. They flopped big time. So, but before we move on to the matchup and all that, just want to put.
I know.
No, I'm not. We're not doing it. I'm not doing it.
I'm sorry. I just saw something.
Chuck, I'm not doing it. Chuck,
not doing it.
Next topic. Go to the next topic, please.
Mr. 3 points. Mr. 3 points.
No, we're not. I didn't even mean to say
please.
it. I didn't even.
But he's here?
Yeah,
he's here.
There he goes.
But
poor guy.
I want to shout out the king of overreactions, Lance the Spoken. I'm going to shout out to him. He put this stat out here. In sacks and road games since 2018, Chris Jones leads the NFL 26.5. The next closest is TJ Watt at 23.5. Yeah. So, hey, Chris Jones might get on the board this week.
Chris Jones
he's getting on the board. We don't talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about he has.
They don't have a center, right guard, or a
tackle.
Yeah. I saw the injury report. The injury report is not looking great for Jacksonville.
Yeah.
So man. Chris Jones, he could get on the board this week, and also he kept receipts. So that's another thing he kept. So
he probably gonna tweet me about that. But hey, look, though, he came back at the perfect time because segueing, Jacksonville's banged up on the part that count on that line. They are banged up, and Jacksonville's a good team. They did have a little problem with Indianapolis, though. Indianapolis hung tough. That was a tough game. It was tougher than it should have been. Now, when we did the schedule, I think people were looking at potentially this was the first loss.
Mm-hmm.
One of the first loss, one of the first real tests of the season. I still agree. But I think Detroit kind of sealed their fate because they're not losing. Pat walked into that press conference. I've never seen my quarterback this mad.
He was not happy at all.
We lost in the AFC Championship. He wasn't this mad.
No, he was.
Wait, he was more pissed than when he lost to the Bengals in the regular season?
He was.
Did you see his face?
He looked like he wanted to not answer any questions. He was
from the moment they. Mm-hmm. I don't even know if they were miking him up or what they were doing. He was pissed the entire time. Mm-hmm. Man, go look at it. Go look. Don't even listen to the questions. Forget the questions. Forget what he said.
Oh no!
Look at his face. He's pissed. He's still pissed. And if they interview him tomorrow, which they probably will, because it's like the last one of the week. If he comes in with that same face, bro, I feel sorry for Jacksonville.
I think he's good because they only do Wednesdays that the quarterback.
Oh, he's done.
Yeah. It's also his birthday. It's also his birthday on Sunday.
T-Bone said he wanted to slap the shit out. He looked at bro. That is how he looks. We always say Pat is a petty person. He's still petty. Pat is Michael Jordan level of petty. He's very petty. Mm-hmm. I didn't know he got this pissed off though, because as soon as he walked up to the podium, I said, Pat is either super annoyed or super focused right now. Because what is this? I've never seen this look. Have y'all ever seen him look like that before?
I think it's both. But no, I have not. He, like I said, it's a unique. He looked very annoyed, very focused, and he wants to get back out there. And I truly believe that he wants to put up a great performance. And look, fortunately, he's going to have his number one target to actually do that this week.
Patrick Pippins is funny as hell.
Why are we even putting him on the screen?
I'm sorry. That's funny as hell. It's so stupid. It's funny. Yeah, but
game. Why are we acknowledging him? No,
I don't know.
God.
It's literally
3
the same
points,
thing
little.
every single. It's the same thing every single week. I just look at my background, and then you look at your trophy case. If you don't have these, I don't care. It's okay.
Hey,
It's very simple
when you
every
walk
week.
into your trophy room and you can go, hello, hello, hello. It's not the same. It's not the same. Anyway,
All
Kylie,
right,
did
so
you
you want to
notice Patrick
get into the
Mahomes'
match?
face?
Yeah, yeah. Let's
I
talk about
did.
Patrick Mahomes'
Yeah.
face.
No, it was, he's definitely focused and I'm not happy. But it's his birthday. That's what I was saying, is it's his birthday on Sunday.
How old is Pat
So
now? 28? 29?
yeah, he'll be
28.
28.
28.
Oh,
So
Seven
really?
they're,
seasons. 7 seasons, right? It sounds crazy to say that
they
7
grow up.
seasons
They
of
grow
Patrick
up so
Mahomes.
fast.
Mhm.
That man
He's
got
like,
2 kids. That man got 2 kids. He still got a
Yep.
mohawk.
I know. It's like, what happened?
yeah.
He
Can
said
you
he
I
was
think
believe
the
originally
he's a
Mohawk, he's got to keep
baller?
the Mohawk at least
Crazy.
until 30.
It's
I
Is
don't
it
crazy.
care if he's
time?
got kids
Is
or
it
not.
time? Is it time for the Mohawk to leave?
No,
Let me tell
No,
you,
no.
not yet.
them
Wait till he's
curls ain't
30.
going nowhere as long as he's getting paid $10 million by Head and Shoulders. I'll tell you that for sure.
Boom.
They ain't going nowhere.
He will never shave the head. It's
Those are
going to be
10.
curls.
Those are $10 million curls right there. They ain't going nowhere. I promise you that.
Yeah, it's like Troy Polamalu. He got a wig now. He's so committed to the commercial.
You think
Yeah.
he's
These are
got a
my thoughts
wig?
and my thoughts
Is it a
alone.
wig?
I
Hold
don't.
up. Let's go back.
Oh
Kylie,
my
don't go there
god.
with me. Don't go down this road with me, Kylie. Stay where you are.
I
Oh
Stay
always
my
where
thought
you
they
god.
were
are.
luscious. They got luscious locks. I was like, oh wait,
Watch this slide.
that's not a wig.
Oh man.
Anyway,
Holy shit.
Looks just
But
locks is hilarious.
what are we
but
saying?
here's a topic I do want to touch on. I want to touch on Andre Cisco, the safety of the Jaguars. Okay. Nick Jacobs freaked out. He freaked out yesterday about that hit he put on Anthony Richardson. And I looked at this play numerous times and I was like, okay, what else was he supposed to do to stop AR from getting the end zone? It's like, I don't think there's another legit option in order to stop him from getting the end zone. Because I mean, if he would have let off, then AR is possibility that AR could have ran over him and maybe stretched to get in the end zone. I don't know. But then I went back to the game in the regular season when he laid out Juju Smith-Schuster and MVS. And I'm like,
That
look,
was dirty, bro.
I don't know. Looking back, I was like, I don't know,
No,
man.
there was some
I
dirty
feel
hits, bro.
like I feel like to his point, he was saying he was playing like the old school greats. You know what I'm saying? The Steve Atwaters and the Jack Tatum's. I feel like part of it was Patrick Mahomes kind of hunting him out the dry a little bit.
His
That's what I
name is
kind of
Andre
feel like. You know
Cisco,
what
though.
I'm saying?
He's
I,
named
I
after a
think
bad liquor.
Cisco one of them old school guys. You know what I'm saying? That's what I kind of feel like, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
I'm not mad at it. I understand what he's trying to do. I think that he does headhunt, and I don't think the Anthony Richardson play was necessarily indicative of that. But when wide receivers come across the middle, he is trying to inflict some violence and pain. That's understandable, and that has an intimidating effect. Ultimately, though, this Jaguars defense can be had up the middle. So, I mean, if we talk about the matchups that we're going to end up seeing, I need to see these guys try and get downhill and attack them. And if they don't, I'm going to be disappointed. And you gotta attack them up the middle, because otherwise you're just trying to play with Tyson Campbell on the outside with wide receivers and stuff. Just don't allow Trey Smith, Joe Tooney, and Creed Humphrey to actually attack the interior of this defensive line, because it's not good. They don't have a good interior defensive line. Attack them. Go after them. Go downhill. Please do that, because otherwise I'll be frustrated.
I can't show y'all comments because y'all are being very petty in the chat section. I
Yeah,
can't even
I
post.
love it. I love it.
I can't
just let
even
them go.
post it.
Just let them go. Let them. They're
No,
enjoying.
I'm laughing, but I just can't post.
Mhm.
That was a good one, man.
I think they're great. Keep them coming.
People covered.
I love
If
it.
are we going to see pre-rolled ankle versus Jacksonville like we saw in the playoffs? Like, because Pat looked like he was well on his way
God, I hope
to
so.
a tremendous.
He was going to put it on him. I mean, he was going to put 50 on him. Like it was easy. He was rolling down the field the first drive and a half. Oh my God, he was feeling it.
Yeah,
Him.
this how I feel. This how I
Go ahead.
feel. I think Patrick is gonna go scorched earth. I mean, just because we
Mhm.
mentioned how pissed he was at the press conference, and we got the birthday narrative coming up and all that, and it's just like, look, I just have a hard time seeing him starting out 0-2 or the Chiefs starting out 0-2 in general. I just have a hard time seeing that. Now, does that mean I'm counting out Jacksonville? No. I mean, Jacksonville, they definitely got a shot at winning this game. You know what I mean? Because we have beat them 7 games in a row. We on a winning streak like how we on a super long winning streak against Denver. They tired of losing to us. They really tired of losing us because I remember in the very beginning of this matchup, they used to own us, dog. They started out like 6-2 against us. And now we won the last 7 matchups against Jacksonville. And Jacksonville, they are knocking on the door. And to your point, Country, you mentioned in your bold predictions, like across the league, you said Trevor Lawrence could be the MVP this year. And I think Trevor Lawrence going to come with it in this matchup too. So defense, they're going to have a test. Especially Calvin Ridley in the fold. They look damn good together.
Yeah, that's a big thing, and it's a good thing that you get Chris Jones back because you are going to need to create pressure to disrupt this offense because they have a lot of variety of weapons. I mean, Calvin Ridley looks like he hasn't missed a step, and it looks like Trevor Lawrence trusts him fully. Evan Ingram is still an athletic tight end, but he hasn't necessarily shown up, but still he's an athletic tight end. Zay Jones made a heck of a catch. He's pretty much been their second wide receiver, and he's playing very well on the outside. Christian Kirk, when he comes in under 3 wide receiver sets on the slot, been very good as well. And we know what Travis Etienne brings to the table with his speed to the edge. So this is going to be a step up in competition, in my personal opinion, because Trevor Lawrence is an excellent quarterback. And I said that before the season, and week 1 only really confirmed that. Doug Peterson is an Andy Reid disciple with great play design. So this defense is going to have to play at a high level, and it's going to have to get pressure at forward times, especially against an undermanned offensive line to try and throw this team off because you're going to need those extra bodies to hold these weapons down.
Yeah, and they're so good at the quick pass game too. Like it don't even take long. Like mostly 3-step drops. Trevor gets the ball out there quick, and like once they get that pass game going, you can mix in the run. And once they get rolling with that, that's when they're pretty effective at the flashing. Because I mean, I'm mainly seeing with they flashing passes. I'm mainly seeing them run a lot of shallow flats, to the tight end, or you have a receiver run across the field, and that'll be like the second option. So they're very good at that.
y'all are petty in the comment section.
Yeah, they on his head. They on his head.
Oh my God. Andy Reid does very well against his tree. I think he ain't gotta have no big old speech this week. I think that team is motivated. I think they got thrown in the fire. I think Pat was embarrassed. This might be the only second time in his career he's ever been embarrassed.
Yeah, so he said he was embarrassed too.
So sorry. I think this is going to start a roll. I don't think it's just Jacksonville. I think this is going to start a roll for Kansas City. And
look, and we can get into the schedule a little bit later.
Can we talk to the football guys for just a second?
Sure, go ahead.
What did Aaron Rodgers do to y'all that y'all don't want him to ever play Pat Mahomes in his career?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
What?
Man.
I'm not talking about his injury. We don't celebrate injuries. We don't.
No.
I feel bad for him.
I wouldn't even say from that
perspective. Why can't this ever happen? What's
crazy.
What did the Jets fans do to the football gods? Because
honestly,
they've been cursed.
I mean, you have been waiting for this moment for how long in your fandom? You got a great defense. You've got a Hall of Fame quarterback. You got a run game because Breece Hall looked like he was good. And the third drop back of the game, the Achilles is gone. And it's just awful. And I say that not even including it's 9/11. He comes out with the music blaring, has the flag carrying, new jerseys, everything looking elite. And it's
tragic, bro. It's tragic.
I mean, it was awful. I really felt bad for Jets fans in that moment. I was like, that is just terrible.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I felt bad for Jets fans, but also I felt bad for obviously Aaron Rodgers and then like Garrett Wilson and all these receivers getting ready to play with Aaron Rodgers and just what that was going to do for their season. And obviously their career and how hyped they were going in. It was such a as a fan of the sport, just such a bummer, regardless of what fan or what team you cheer for. It was just such a bummer. It's such a bummer. I feel
and it was cool to see how much those young receivers had kind of connected with him, and so it was a shame. It just a shame all the way around to see that end up happening the way it did.
NFL guys, hey, we don't need to see injury videos over and over and oh my God, I'm gonna circle it this time. You see where it pops right there? Stop doing that. It's so weird. The next day, okay, all right, that's enough. We reached the limit. Elon Musk put a limit on everything else on Twitter. Put a limit on injury videos because I've seen every angle of Aaron Rodgers tearing his Achilles. Stop it. For real. And that goes for everybody across the league. We don't want to see nobody get injured, but to see the video, the game is going to play it at least 15, 20 times. And then on Twitter, it's going to be shared. It's going to have 30,000 views at the end of the day. It's oh my God. It did pop, bro. Manny. It did look ugly, bro. It looked
it exploded.
You could see it, bro. And they kept sharing the video. They zoomed in 4K quality. Hey, man, you know what I'm saying?
What are we doing?
Yo.
But, and it was.
But to your point,
go ahead. Go ahead, Chuck.
To your point,
I'm sorry, I got on that.
I know I've been an anti-Aaron Rodgers type of dude, but as a fan of football, as a fan of the National Football League, it's a big blow. It really is.
It is.
And I said it a few years ago too. During the COVID season, all of a sudden Aaron Rodgers mysteriously is unable to play because he wasn't immunized all of a sudden. We didn't get that matchup then. And I was just at that point, I was just it's not in the cards, man. We never gonna see this matchup. And when the schedule came out and I saw that the Jets and Chiefs on, I was like, okay, we'll see. We got to see if one of these guys is gonna be healthy. And once again, somebody went down.
Paul George. Was that Paul George?
Oh yeah, that was nasty.
That's oh my God. Oh my God.
But
that Olympic.
Go ahead, Kevin Ware one. The Kevin Ware one.
That was
sticking out.
Him too.
When his leg
broke, Joe Theismann getting his leg broke was my God.
Dak Prescott. I feel like his was pretty bad.
Prescott.
It was just
his ankle was.
I'll always say the Kevin Ware one was one where I've never seen anything like that, and it was just awful,
disgusting. And Alex Smith on the anniversary of Joe Theismann getting hurt.
Oh my God!
Same day.
And we have not mentioned this. Prayers to Alex Smith and his family.
Yes, absolutely.
After they've been through all that drama, now they got the daughter with the cancer. Prayers to his entire man. Prayers to Alex Smith, man.
Absolutely.
He don't just Alex Smith, one of the nicest, humblest guys of all time, and you just come on, man. I know God gives his roughest battles to his biggest soldiers, but Jesus Christ, get a guy a break. You know what I'm saying? But man, on behalf, I will represent the entire podcast on behalf of Kingdom Cast. Prayers for Alex Smith and his daughter, man. For real, for real.
Absolutely,
that's crazy. We all over the place. I'm sorry.
You did all over the place. I'm sorry. I just watched Devontae Smith get this long touchdown, so it's gonna help me in fantasy.
Same here.
Get him, Kylie. Get him.
Same here.
I know. Hold on. Which league?
Yeah, really. For real. Oh, he's got 50 points. Let's go. Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. By the way.
Oh, my gosh, he does. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, by the way, he was plus 500 to lead everybody in receiving yards tonight. So yeah.
It's going to help. That's some easy money right there. There you go. Yeah, so getting back to week 2. Obviously, we talk about difficult, game plan as far as trying to hold down their defense or hold down their offense, I should say. Their offensive line injury. So their center right now is unlikely to play. Brandon Sheriff, the right guard, is iffy to play, and Cam Robinson still suspended their left tackle, so they have Walker Little and Anton Harrison, the rookie at right tackle. So it's really, for me, just finding a way to get these guys in a little bit of longer yardage situations and finding ways to tee off on that offensive line. Just getting Trevor to hold it just an extra beat. The Colts defense in the pretty much for 3/4 of the game were able to give them significant struggles. Like they weren't moving the ball easily. They were able to hold them down pretty good for the first 3/4 of the game. And so when the fourth quarter came, the Colts had a little bit of turnover issues, gave them some short fields, and they were able to score. So this is going to be the big question for me is if they're able to stop the run on early downs, try to get into some advantageous situations, get after Trevor. Because, again, these weapons are going to be very difficult to hold down. But I do believe with Chris Jones back, they can have this defensive line.
The thing I'm interested to see what Jacksonville does is with Calvin Ridley as far as he goes, because our corners, we mainly play our side. Like, we don't really travel with a receiver or anything. So I'm kind of interested to see how often Trent's going to be on Ridley and how often Ridley's going to line up just all over the field in general. And for Jacksonville to see if they can try to find like a little slight weakness in the secondary that maybe like take advantage of us maybe a little bit. But to your point earlier, the offensive alignment of Jacksonville, they banged up right now. So we'll have to monitor their status. But if they come to this game and they played and they a little banged up, I think we can take advantage of that. Since we do got 95 back, that's definitely just going to open it up for everybody else to go in there and get some sacks. I mean, along with pressures and everything. So if we can do that just enough and force Trevor to do like at least a pick or like a strip fumble, all we need is like to win the turnover battle by one. We can get at least one turnover. I think that's good enough for us to win the game. Because honestly, I really have a hard time seeing Jacksonville's defense slowing us down like that. I really do.
How much do you think Chris Jones? Right. How much do you think Chris Jones is going to play?
Steve Spags is saying that he looks in shape. He's saying that he could get a full amount of snaps if he could, but I just don't know. First game, I don't know if it's going to be a full amount, but I say it'll be a little more than 50%.
I got him. I got him in the 35% to 50% range. I think that they should be somewhat cautious, even though it's not necessarily in shape issue, just more so ramping up issue. Because like he hasn't played any NFL snaps. Mm-hmm. He had no preseason. He had no training camp. Give him some opportunities here just to get ramped up a little bit. Nick Bosa played around a little bit under 50% of the snaps for the Niners on Sunday. So
that's
don't push him all the way. You know, give him possibly half the snaps and use him strategically just to make sure. And I think he can still have plenty of impact off of that because this defensive line actually played well on Thursday.
How about this? Play well enough that he doesn't have to play over 50% of the snaps.
I would love that too. That would be great.
Hey, listen, that's a bonus.
So that's a shout out to Neil Farrell. That's a challenge to Farrell and Dickerson and Colburn and Noddy. Play well enough that we don't have to run this guy on the ground first game back.
Yeah. And here's a topic I want to touch on. Kadarius Toney. Kadarius Toney in the press conference this week.
Max low baller.
Yeah, I'm the pessimistic one, unless you ask me that.
Unless Boogie's here.
Right.
Oh, devil's advocate. Oh, God.
Yeah, he's the devil's advocate of the show.
Shout out to Boogie. I'm sorry, Chuck. I'm sorry.
But Kadarius, he owned up to his mistakes in the press conference. You know, he held himself accountable. He was like, look, Pat counts on me to make plays that I didn't make them. And it's up to me to make those corrections and make plays. And like they said, he stayed at the practice for like about 30 minutes. Just getting on the jug machine, you know, just getting his hands right. And I feel like in this matchup, to me, I'm going to make a bold prediction right now on this show. And I believe I already said it on the timeline, but I'm going to say it again. I think Tony's going to score 2 touchdowns. I think this is the matchup for him to take advantage of that. Of course, they're going to line him up on the field like per usual. The issue with Tony, there's no issue with him getting open. I have no doubt in my mind that he's going to get open against the Jacksonville defense. He just got to catch the ball. And I think, I'm going to say this too. On the very first pass play, he's going to look for Kadarius Toney. Patrick, I think Toney probably get the first catch of the game, just for Patrick for him to build his confidence up.
Wasn't this his first game with us? Last year was the Jags.
Yes,
Yeah.
Is
it
that?
Was that the
Yeah, that
first
was a
game?
debut.
I
was the
think that
first
was
game.
his first game with us. Was the
We saw
Jags
him.
last year, and he
Yeah,
did well.
he did. He caught a quick pass in which he created a bunch of extra yards after he's shaking off a few tackles. He caught the down the sideline pass where he high pointed the ball, and then he caught the touchdown where
While
he,
adjusting his gloves.
while adjusting his gloves.
That's right.
That was
Yes.
crazy.
And he also had the one-legged touchdown where he's wide open off of orbit motion. So
I was at that
obviously,
game too.
obviously Andy Reid knows how to use him in these circumstances. So I'm going to be very interested. And Jordan Addison touchdown. I'm sorry, and and so I'm going to be very interested to see how Kadarius Toney is used. I think that he's going to have a bounce back game. That shaking off the rust, the ways that I know that they want to get him the ball and be impactful. I feel very good about what he's going to put out there.
I just want to say that DMAC is whooping my butt in fantasy right now, and everybody is getting to witness it.
It's early. It's early. It's early.
I just looked and I was like, ooh.
We got plenty of time. Plenty of time.
Every time he celebrates a little, he's like, "Oh, I'm like, oh, damn." And then I gotta check. I'm like, hold on. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Go on.
I think it's going to be a good game. I think Jaguars going to put up a fight, but I think coming off this loss to Detroit, and I think that's just too much. And and Travis is going to come with a lot of energy. Chris is going to come with a lot of energy. And Pat is going to come. Last time I seen Pat this mad or focused was Tampa Bay, which was after the Indy loss
game. Yep. Mm-hmm. And look, there was a lot of similar chatter. It was like, oh, do the Chiefs not look like themselves? You know,
the dynasty is over. You ain't heard?
A tough road opponent. Obviously, a very good quarterback on the other side. How are they going to respond? And they came out just with a different type of motivation. So you're getting Travis Kelce back. You're getting Chris Jones back. Your game plan is intact. You've had 10 days to prepare. This Jacksonville team is very good, no doubt about it. But this is also a team that you're familiar with, a team that you game planned against twice last year. And while they've changed a little bit, they haven't changed too much. So I do fully expect that this team will have a good performance on Sunday. And, I'm picking them. But I will say, just as an overarching point, we get to watch Trevor Lawrence versus Patrick Mahomes. Two high-level quarterbacks go at it, and I thought that's always a fun thing.
Yep. And by the way, I didn't know Pat McAfee had said anything about Kadarius Toney. I don't know what he said. I'm gonna have to find the quote or anything.
We were. Go ahead, Kylie.
Kylie, no.
I just think I don't know. Didn't he call him out for deleting his Instagram or his Twitter or something, saying that after the bad game he deleted his social media, but in reality he still has Instagram and he deleted the Twitter prior to the game, so the facts didn't even line up.
In training camp.
People
exactly.
He deleted it back at the game.
They're trying to say it was after the game, and that's not what happened.
Right.
But look, it is what it is.
Kadarius called him out though. Kadarius said Pat McAfee be talking like he really knows shit. You just
he's a goofy.
Yeah.
Chill out, goofy.
McAfee has been rubbing me the wrong way a little bit recently, but that's a different conversation for a different time. But yeah, I mean, we'll. I don't have any problems with Kadarius Toney on social media, to be honest with you. Like, if he wants to troll Giants fans in his spare time, by all means, go ahead and do it. It didn't stop him from performing when we needed him to last year. I don't think it'll stop him from performing when we need him to this year.
It was just a bad night.
Does he go looking for Giants fans, or do they? It's always been retaliation in my.
The answer is yes. I think that he goes looking, and they.
Oh,
okay.
Yes, that's fair. That's fair.
Yes.
That's the thing for me. You give it. It's a give and take. Go ahead. I don't care as far as just give and take. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, it's a give and take. And I do think it's better that he doesn't have Twitter and that he's just keeping it contained to Instagram, because I feel like it's a little easier for him to kind of like pop off a little trolling and then kind of
and just shut it down
into the crowd. Whereas like Twitter's going to run with it, retweet it, like all the different things. So it might be.
But that's the beautiful part about it. He posted on Instagram, and then it goes to Twitter and makes everybody mad, but he can't see it, so it doesn't matter to him. So he's fine.
he was getting a little beside himself on Twitter. It was a couple of days in a row where he was.
Yeah, it was a bit much.
He was going in.
He was bored. He was bored. He was bored during the off season.
Because I definitely remember them voice the voice messages. He was sending the random Giants.
Oh my God! Yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
God! The
yeah.
DMs. And then and they were getting on Twitter like, why don't the Chiefs step in and suspend it? We don't care.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't care.
But
do y'all know who we are?
another before we get too far away, another it was redemption week at the podium. Sky Moore got to talk a little bit, and I liked his attitude about it too. I think him and Kadarius both had positive attitudes to having. I wouldn't say Sky had a bad game. It was just he just. How many times did he get targeted? 3 times, maybe.
Yeah. 3
So
times.
I like this. I like this press conference, and he sounded like he's back focused. He said he flushed it, which was an interesting choice of words. But I think that game's in the rearview mirror, and I think he's another guy that needs to get involved. So there should be a bet out there of who's going to get Pat's first ball, because it could be Travis, Kadarius, or Sky.
I go Toney. I think they're going to go right.
Tony.
Yeah.
I'm a side with Toney too. I can see Travis just because Travis missed the first game.
I think Toney gets the first. Toney gets the first target. And Sky gets the first third down conversion.
If Toney goes out and, God forbid, drops the first pass, does Andy go back to him?
Yes, he's going to.
Yeah, he don't go back to him.
We're not willing it to happen. I'm just asking hypothetically.
No, that's fair point.
I think Pat gonna go to over-rely on third down though. It's gonna be a Travis Kelce, because Travis, he gonna get the matchup. He gonna have a linebacker on him majority of the game.
Kelce will be the first touchdown.
I can see that.
They still don't have anybody to guard him. There's no Chad Muma is not guarding Travis Kelce. They're not going to put Andre Cisco on him because he's going to get cooked. Like actually Cisco's face looked at times in the video. So it doesn't matter. There's nothing you could do about Travis Kelce when it matters most, and so he's going to throw it to him when they need to put points on the board.
Y'all all wrong. Clyde is getting the first touchdown.
Now he's sick or not sick.
No. Clyde is getting the first touch. I'm just saying, as far as throwing the ball, we know it is contractually obligated in Clyde's contract, a part of his first round pick.
Kylie tried to give him the flu. She was like, "No, Clyde is sick."
No, he's going to be active. They're bringing up P. Ryan. They're bringing up P. Ryan from the practice squad. We're not dealing with him today.
Question. Will the Chiefs be better on third and short?
Oh God,
no.
Okay. Have they practiced anything different other than bringing Blake Bell out for third and short? Okay,
no, they haven't. They haven't. It's just
so
Blake
annoying.
Bell, quarterback.
It's so annoying to me, Kylie, because look,
I know.
I quote tweeted that Andy Reid talking about we're gonna fix the third and short situation. I'm like, okay, stop running jet sweeps on third and one. Start there. Just stop doing it.
Andy Reid lies in his press conferences, so I don't think they're going to fix it. I think they're just going to continue to be confounding third and short team for no reason whatsoever.
Exactly, and it's not like it wasn't a problem last year. It was a problem all last season too, and they didn't do anything different. So I don't know why you would change it now. It's been a problem
since he got here. It's been a problem since how long? Andy Reid been here like 10 years already, right?
This is the 11th season, I think. This is
his 10th season. Yeah. But it's always been a problem. When we had a fullback, it was a problem. Where's Michael Burton when you need him? Where's Anthony Sherman? Is he still in shape?
Mm-hmm.
I'm suggesting, damn, we got rid of Colin Saunders.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying who you want?
Make Niang eligible and let him just fall over the line. You ain't got to jump. You ain't got to run. Just fall forward. And
I think one of Chris Jones' incentives is offensive snaps, so we could just go ahead and get worked in there properly. We'll put him at fullback and just hand the ball off to him.
You're very stupid. Kylie, don't hold your breath.
I'm not holding my breath. This is a belief. I'll see.
A girl can dream. A girl can dream.
Yeah, the third one stuff is just ridiculous, man. Like,
it's comical. It's so comical to me. A team this good offensively cannot.
A historically great offense with
Right.
a all-time quarterback, an all-time head coach, one of the best tight ends in history, the best interior three in the league, can't move the ball a yard when they want to. Go figure.
Someone made the joke.
I'm sorry if I forgot. The angriest runner in the league as well. They just refuse to give the ball to.
Who's that guy?
Someone made the joke they should just false start.
I said it. I know I said it before. I don't know if I was the first.
We need to go back 5 yards.
I feel much better about 36 than I do 31.
No,
because I know we're not because I know we're not handing it off to a fullback or having Blake Bell sneak or running a stupid ass pop pass that we shouldn't be running. I know all three of those things are out of the window on 36. We're putting the ball in the best player's hands, and Travis Kelce's getting 7 yards.
In this particular game, they had a 31. They ran a reverse, and he touched it. He touched it. In the same game, they had a 3rd and 17. No problem.
No issue whatsoever.
He was fingertips away from a 4th and 24 and 25. Fingertips away. It's ridiculous. Chuck, get to our sponsor. Go to our sponsor.
Let's do predictions. We got to do predictions.
I'm so over
sponsors, and then we're done. I'll get us back on track. Okay.
3rd and 17 with no problem.
Country.
Predictions. Okay, focus.
Big focus.
Chiefs win this game. I think it's too much momentum. It's too much on their side. The only thing that's not on their side is they're not playing the Arrowhead. That's the only thing Jacksonville has. I think it's too much momentum. I think it's too much embarrassment from last week. That's on my quarterback. The emotion of Travis Kelce, Chris Jones coming back. I just think it's a little too much for Jacksonville. And they're a little banged up, which doesn't help them at all. So I think it's gonna be start off a slugfest, but I think Kansas City pulls away in the 4th.
Okay.
W.
All right, D-Mac, you up?
I generally agree with what Country said. I think getting Travis Kelce back, getting Chris Jones back, both of those being able to make the impact that I know they have. 10 days off, extra time for Reed to prepare. And like I said, Patrick Mahomes looks absolutely upset, pissed, annoyed, completely focused. He wants to just try and throw the ball through a wall. I think that you will see a great game out of him. This Jags defense is very good on the edge, and this is something I'll be looking at for my stay scheming that'll come out between now and the game. Figure out when that happens. So the tackles are going to be tested, but I think that the same way that we've seen in the past in which they attack guys effectively that are really good edge rushers, you'll see that similar game plan. The middle of this field, I think, is wide open, and I think they take advantage of it. So I'm going to go with a 37-31 win for the Chiefs. I think that Trevor Lawrence and them are going to put up points, but the Chiefs defense is going to equip itself fairly well, even so. Like, you'll come away from this game and be like, wow, they gave up 31 points, but then you also be like, they still probably played an all right game. So at 37-31 Chiefs victory, and we'll say Chris Jones gets a sack in this game because he'll deserve to get a sack in this game.
Yeah, I want to say this before I get to my prediction. Okay, so I don't know if y'all heard that the NFL, they're gonna keep a close eye on the right tackles as far as the alignments and stuff, the timing of the snap and all that. So I knew that was coming. It doesn't surprise me, but nobody was paying attention to Jawan Taylor in Jacksonville when he was doing it. Nobody was paying attention to Lane Johnson for years when he was doing it. But since it's one of our guys, Jawan Taylor's with us now. It's an issue.
By the way, Lane has been completely jumping the snap the same way that Jawan does this entire night. So it's not, and they haven't called it once. So, and to be fair, what they said they're looking for is the alignment specifically, not necessarily the false starting. So you got to take that into account. I'll be interested to see here because there was an aspect of what Jawan Taylor was doing that was kind of detrimental to the Chiefs because he was tipping the play as far as pass versus run. So how they decide to kind of adjust that moving forward is going to be interesting. But there was nothing illegal about it. He can move his back foot. He was aligning according to what the entire NFL has been allowing to happen for the last half decade. So it is what it is, but we'll see what ends up happening on Sunday.
Yeah.
All I ask is simply put, if you're going to call it on us, then you have to call it on them. That's all I ask. The same thing I said going to the Super Bowl.
Exactly. So with that being said, the only thing I don't like is how pretty much the entire world is on us to win and cover this game, no problem. That's the only thing I don't like. I feel like the entire world is expecting the Chiefs to win this game. That's the only thing that I'm kind of concerned about. But just looking at, the matchup in general, I think if it is like, a barn burner goes down to the wire, I think we still win the game regardless. I expect Patrick Mahomes and Trevor Lawrence to both do their thing. But at the end of the day, I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be the one that loses the turnover battle. I feel like somebody in the secondary is going to get an interception. It's going to be a cornerback. I can't decide. I'm trying to decide who.
Trent McDuffie. It's time.
It was Jalen Watson and against the Jaguars last time in the playoffs.
Right. It's his birthday too. Him and Patrick share the same birthday.
Oh, so. Nice.
What? Then I'm getting 2 cakes.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, I feel like Jacksonville going to lead the game late, and then Patrick's going to have the ball last. You're going to lead him down the field, and it's going to go down to the butt kicker. So 31-30 Chiefs.
I don't like that.
I don't want
Thank God Kylie's last. Jesus Christ. Thank you. Take us away, Queen, please.
Wait, what was your prediction, Chuck? I'm sorry, what was your score prediction?
31-30. Bucker game.
Oh man, they got to kick it down 2-2. God, you're gonna send everybody in Kansas City to a hospital.
Right. Kylie, please save us.
Okay. I think, like you were saying, 10 days, Andy's got to game plan. I think they're preparing for whether Kelce's going to be there or not. But I also think that they're going to utilize this O-line a little bit more. And I think we're going to see him run the ball. I think they're going to get Pacheco involved a little bit more. I think if Kelce is back, which he likely will be, I think that's going to open up things for Sky. I think Tony's going to have a get-right game and catch the ball, get a couple TDs. And Patrick's going to go scorched earth because it's his birthday and he doesn't like being embarrassed. And with Chris Jones being back, I think the defense is going to have a little extra fire under their butts. And I think we're going to see George's first sack of the year because he didn't have – Dana had it.
I like that.
George is going to have his first sack of the game or the year, and Chiefs are going to win. I do not want to make it as close, and that's not going to happen if it's up to me. So I'm going to say 31-24 Chiefs. Okay. And I'm not going to be sweating, dripping sweat because we're waiting on Bucker to make a field goal. I can't do that. Don't make me do that.
She got to drink hard seltzers.
Nuh-uh, it's an early game. I got mimosas and Bloody Marys.
Ooh.
I think I'll make myself some chicken and waffles. Treat myself a little bit early game.
That was nice.
Enjoy myself some.
Chuck, what you cooking?
Oh man, I didn't even think about what I was going to eat before the game. I need to put that in the rotation real quick. So I don't even.
Dang, Chuck, they want you off camera, man.
They don't want the close games.
They don't want the close games.
Listen, y'all. It's the National Football League. It's any given Sunday for a reason, y'all. Just saying.
Happy birthday, man. Happy birthday, bro.
Chuck, change your name. Chuck, you gotta change your name. You can't be going by Super Champ Chuck and then making us sweat with these close game predictions.
If you don't want a close game, you're rooting for the wrong team. I'll tell you that right now.
Listen, I'm saying this. Listen. I mentioned this earlier in the show today. We've beaten Jacksonville 7 straight times. They tired of losing to us. It might be one of them close games.
Oh, Chuck, stop it.
They absolutely want this game, though. It is a fair point. We obviously beat them twice last year. They're trying to prove a point and try to show that they're a real contender in this league, so I understand it. Let's get to the sponsors, though.
Yes, please.
This guy here gonna get in the end zone, though.
Hey, it's not Adidas. Sorry, my bad.
I got it from Liz. Paper planes, bro. Yeah. Anyway, sponsor time.
All right, so homage. Shout out to good people at homage. I am wearing one of their shirts today. It's quality, still good. Been having it for a minute, so. But yeah, free shipping on orders of $75 or more. So you pay $75 or more, you get free shipping on your order. You got the NFL Team Essentials collection still. You got the Pop Culture Tees collection going on still. You still got the crew necks. And if you've been paying attention to our Twitter page and our Instagram, the starter collection is back. The starter jackets are available. There's only a few left from what I'm seeing. So they've been flying off the shelf. So if you haven't got a starter jacket yet, you may want to hurry up and get that because it's a hot item, knowing that we're the Super Bowl champs. So,
and it will get cold soon.
Yes,
yep,
that's
time
the
fall.
Yeah,
It is the fall. So
it's time to bundle up, baby.
Juice, hit me up. Juice, hit me up. Hit me
it
up.
better be nice too, Juice.
Yeah, he's nice. He's always
nice.
I
know. I'm just wondering.
All right, so real quick, before we get out of here, I mean, as far as like the across the league and stuff, we already talked about Aaron Rodgers. So I mean, what stood out to y'all?
Oh man, don't do this! Don't do this!
I gotta go.
Mean? We're gonna wrap it up here. What stood out?
Because we want to talk about those guys, and they only, what they did.
No. Let's get to it. What stood out to y'all the most in week 1?
That Cincinnati, y'all need a training facility. You can't keep crossing the street and going to practice at Swope Park under the bridge. Like it's embarrassing. Please get a training facility. Get a shelter or something. That's embarrassing. Go ahead, Kylie, before you go. I'm sorry. Go ahead. What did you think about the NFL this weekend?
I thought that I felt a lot better after Monday about the Chiefs' loss on Thursday. Like we were missing two future Hall of Famers, 2 of our best players, and we only lost by 1 to a potential playoff team when the rest of the league is, AFC, I guess I should say. NFC looked pretty good all around. Well, at least they're top heavy, I guess I'll say. But as far as like who's the guys to watch in the AFC, Bengals, I was not impressed. Sorry about that, Sporting Boys. Yeah, exactly. Obviously the Bills have their own issues. Miami looked good. I was impressed by Miami. They have a really explosive offense, so that's going to be interesting to watch. I actually did pick them to win the AFC East. I think that's very possible. But yeah, I feel a lot better about the loss on Thursday after watching football last weekend.
Highest paid player in the league has the lift to practice.
Yeah.
He's taking razor scooters.
At least he can afford it. Apparently, he can also afford not to throw for 100 yards. My takeaway was that overall, offenses looked very, very, very bad across the league. Like everything was sloppy. And so, for as bad as I felt like our week 1 performance was compared to what I saw, I thought it was about bang on league average, and that was kind of shown in some of the analytics as well. So ultimately, for not having Travis Kelce, for not having Chris Jones, to Kylie's point, some of the losses that we saw, way that AFC kind of week 1 settled out. I felt as calm as I was on Friday about the loss. I was even more calm, going into this week. But certainly needs to be said. Got to come out here and get a win against Jacksonville. Got to come out here and get a win against Jacksonville.
Yep, Airhead Chief, I'm about to make that point. I'm gonna make this real quick because Kylie, I know you got to go, and I got to go too. But
we gotta go.
But yeah, Josh Allen is a turnover machine, and when I look at the number of turnovers, these top 5 quarterbacks, I looked at the number of turnovers since 2018. I don't see a single black quarterback on that list, and y'all been dispelling all these bad narratives in regards to some in this league. Lamar Jackson, Justin Fields. You go down the list. You know what I'm saying?
I'm out.
Dak Prescott. And Josh Allen is hardly getting any smoke for all these turnovers. The dude puts up numbers, but he's also a detriment to his football team. He's reckless as hell with the football. He's the most reckless quarterback I've seen play the game. And with that kind of style of football, you're not gonna win a Super Bowl. You're not gonna win anything. I'm sorry. And as far as the NFC goes, oh yeah, real quick for the NFC before I get to the NFC, Jamar Chase, shut your 38-yard ass up. Called out Denzel Ward and Greg Newsom, and your ass got locked up. So shut your ass
Buy
up.
Some elves. Buy some elves. You got locked up by some elves.
Yeah, some elves. Else have been on you since you got into the league, my boy. But anyway, the NFC, anytime, look, see, I'm out on the Seattle Seahawks. You want to know why? Because anytime your quarterback says, "Oh my God," when a defensive lineman is
that's unfair. Anybody would say the same thing if Aaron
No.
Donald was running at them. That is a very normal human reaction. You cannot act like it isn't. I'd say, "Oh my God," too.
Geno Smith, you showed it too soft, my boy. I'm out.
That is a very normal human reaction for Aaron Donald running at you full speed. That is
the Giants are
unfair.
winning the NFC West again. I'm sorry.
I will not let you disrespect Geno Smith like that.
There was a lot of venom. There was a lot of venom in that. Kingdom Cast, like, share, subscribe. We appreciate all the support. Follow us everywhere. We're everywhere on social media. We will be doing a giveaway pretty soon. Stay tuned. Tomorrow. Nice. So
you heard it here first.
Yeah, stay tuned. You know how we do. Kylie, take us out, please.
Oh, Kylie, you should hang up and let everyone talk.
No. We like bringing Kylie down to the depths.
No, I was just going to say, like, subscribe, make sure you're following us, make sure you're checking it out tomorrow for the giveaway. Go Chiefs, and we'll catch you till next time. Peace.